The church bells echoed across the dusty plains of Redemption Valley, carrying a sound so pure it felt like heaven had opened its gates. The townsfolk gathered in their Sunday best, whispering about the couple standing at the altar, the rugged rancher with the scar on his back and the woman with eyes too kind for this cruel land. Their wedding was perfect. The sky was clear, the preacher's voice steady, and the love between them undeniable. But if anyone had told these people 6 months ago that Emily would be marrying Cole Danner, the same outlaw she once found bleeding in the dirt with an arrow buried deep in his back, they'd have laughed her right out of town. It started one evening when the sun was dying over the hills, and the coyotes began their lonely howls. Emma, a widowed homesteader living alone on the outskirts, was closing her shutters when her dog started barking. She stepped out onto the porch, lantern in hand, and saw a dark shape stumble through the brush and collapse near her fence. At first, she thought it was a drunk from town, but when she turned him over, her breath caught. He was young, strong, and covered in blood. An arrow stuck out from between his shoulder blades. She gasped, and before she could think, he grabbed her wrist. "Don't let them find me," he rasped. Those words changed everything. Against all reason, Emma dragged him inside. She'd seen enough death. Her husband had been killed by raiders 3 winters ago. She couldn't stand another soul dying on her land. She built a fire, fetched her sewing kit, and with trembling hands, began to pull the arrow out of his back. He screamed, muffling the sound with his teeth as she worked. The metal tip had lodged deep, and the blood soaked through her apron. When she was done, he fainted, and that was when she saw it. A wanted poster crumpled in his coat pocket. Cole Danner. Wanted for robbery, horse theft, and murder. She froze. Her hands shook as she read the words. Outside, thunder rolled, and the night grew heavy. She could have turned him in. There was a $500 reward, enough to pay off her debts and start a new life. But when she looked at him again, pale, broken, and muttering in his fever, she couldn't. Something in her heart refused. For days, Emma hid him in her barn. She cleaned his wound, fed him soup, and lied to the sheriff when he came asking about a wounded man spotted heading north. "Ain't seen a soul," she said, her voice calm though her pulse thundered. Cole recovered slowly. When he could finally stand, he tried to leave. But one morning as he saddled his horse, she stopped him. "You'll die out there," she said. "Whoever shot you, they'll finish the job." He stared at her, torn between pride and gratitude. "Why are you helping me?" She looked away. "Maybe I'm tired of burying men." That night, a storm rolled in. The wind howled, and the rain came down like bullets. They sat by the fire in silence until Cole spoke. "I didn't kill that man," he said. "The marshal's son, he came at me first. It was him or me." But the town didn't care about the truth. Emma studied his face. She saw pain there, not just from his wound, but from something deeper, betrayal, maybe. She believed him, though she couldn't say why. Days turned into weeks. The wound healed, and so did the silence between them. They started working together, fixing fences, tending the land. She found herself laughing again, something she hadn't done in years. And he looked at her like she was the only good thing left in the world. But trouble never stayed far. One morning, as the sun climbed over the ridge, she saw 3 riders in the distance, bounty hunters. Cole saw them too. He cursed under his breath. "They've found me." He reached for his gun, but Emma grabbed his hand. "No. You run, they'll kill you. You stay, I'll tell them you're my hired hand." He hesitated, then nodded. When the riders arrived, their leader, a scarred man with a crooked smile, tipped his hat. "Ma'am, we're looking for Cole Danner. Heard he might have passed through here." Emma met his eyes without flinching. "Ain't seen him. Only man here's my worker, Tom. Quiet sort. Don't cause no trouble." The man eyed Cole, who stood by the barn pretending to mend a bridle. Then, after a long pause, he spat in the dirt. "If you see him, tell him we're comin'." They rode off. Emma's knees went weak the moment they disappeared. Cole caught her before she fell. "You just lied to bounty hunters," he whispered. She smiled faintly. "Guess I'm not the good woman folks think I am." He kissed her then, soft, hesitant, like a man afraid to hope. Weeks later, the truth came out. The marshal's son had been found guilty of blackmail and murder in another town. Cole's name was cleared. When he rode back to Emma's farm, free at last, she was sitting on the porch with her dog. "I told you you'd make it," she said. He dismounted, walked up the steps, and knelt before her. "Emma, I don't got much. But if you'll have me." She didn't let him finish. She kissed him, tears mixing with dust. 6 months later, the town that once hunted him now gathered to celebrate their wedding. But not everyone was happy. As the ceremony ended and the guests cheered, a figure watched from the shadows outside the church, the scarred bounty hunter. His eyes burned with hatred. He'd lost more than money when Cole escaped him, he'd lost his pride. That night, as the couple danced under lantern light, the hunter approached the barn where Cole's horse was tied. He slipped a revolver from his coat and cocked it, the sound swallowed by the fiddle's song. Inside, Emma laughed as Cole twirled her. The music stopped for a moment, the preacher raised a toast, and then, a gunshot shattered the night. The guests screamed. Cole fell to his knees, blood seeping through his vest. Emma ran to him, screaming his name. The shooter was gone before anyone could react. She pressed her hands to his chest. "No, no, no, not again." Cole coughed, forcing a smile. "Guess I couldn't, stay out of trouble." "Don't you dare," she whispered. "You promised me forever." He reached up, brushing a tear from her cheek. "Forever starts now." And then his hand fell limp. The church bells that had rung for their wedding now tolled for his death. But fate had one more twist. Weeks later, as the sheriff tracked the killer across the canyon, he found the bounty hunter dead, shot clean through the heart. Beside his body was a note, written in a woman's hand. Justice served. No one saw Emily again after that. Her farm stood empty, her house abandoned. Some said she rode off into the hills, wearing her wedding dress like a ghost. Others whispered she'd joined a group of bounty hunters under a new name. But the people of Redemption Valley still tell her story, of the woman who saved an outlaw, married him, and avenged him, the widow who disappeared into legend. And on quiet nights, when the wind howls through the canyons, some swear they hear her voice, soft, broken, and eternal, whispering his name.